Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about evaluating sources. The standard that goes with that is 8.1, historical thinking and skills. Primary and secondary sources are used to examine events from multiple perspectives and to present and defend a position. So we're going to go over some vocabulary and get you ready for class. Our learning target: I can interpret several primary and secondary sources to recreate a past event. So our vocabulary begins with primary source. A primary source is created by someone who witnessed the event firsthand, created by someone who was a part of the event. It can be journal entries, letters, interviews, speeches. Secondary source is created after the event occurred. The person that writes this or creates this secondary source was not a part of the experience. They were not there. These can be textbooks, articles, biographies, historical films. It is someone's interpretation of the events. They were not there to actually witness the event. Okay, so I would like you to consider this. In this movie that I'm about to show you, there are 6 students. 3 are in black shirts and 3 are in white shirts. I want you to pay attention to see how many times the students with the white shirts pass the basketball.
This is a test of selective attention. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. How many passes did you count? The correct answer is 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla? This video is from research by Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris and is copyrighted. It is available for use in talks, training, and teaching on DVDs from VisCog Productions. Learn more at theinvisiblegorilla.com.
So this video was to illustrate the point that when you are focused on one thing, you miss out on other things in the event. So it is important to get different points of view because it shows different ways of thinking. It gives you a clearer picture of the events. When an event has happened in the past, we can't go back in the future, back in the past. We can only use interpretations from others, primary sources, to figure out what happened. We cannot just use one source to figure out what happened to get the full picture. So let's look at some primary sources. This is from Frederick Douglass. Most of you know about Frederick Douglass from learning about slavery. So this is from his personal journal. Let's go ahead and read it. The night, however, was shortened at both ends. The slaves worked often as long as they could see, and were late in cooking and mending for the day. And at the first gray streak of the morning they were summoned to the field by the overseer's horn. They were whipped for oversleeping more than for any other fault. The overseer stood at the quarter door, armed with a stick and whip, ready to deal heavy blows upon any who was a rush for the door. For the hindermost last one was sure to get a blow from the overseer. Young mothers who worked in the field were allowed an hour about 10 o'clock in the morning to go home to nurse their children. This was when they were not required to take them to the field with them and leave them in the corner of the fences. So this was something that actually happened to Frederick Douglass. This is an event that he saw he was a part of. Here's another point of view. December 31st. Ran 2 of Uncle Bat's Negroes off last night for making a disturbance. No pass, broke my sword cane over one of their skulls. 1838, January 23rd. My house servants, Jane Lavina and E. Jim, broke into my storeroom and helped themselves very liberally to everything. I whipped them, worse than I ever whipped one before. September 28th. Dennis and Tom Bufe ran off on Wednesday. If I could see either of them and have a gun at the time, we'll let them have the contents of it. October 12th. Tom ran off again. We'll whip him more than I ever whip one. I think he deserves more, the second time he has done so this year. October 20th. Whipped about half today. October 26th. Whipped 8 or 10 for weight today. Those that pick least weights generally most trash. October 27th. Dennis ran off yesterday, and after I had whipped him. So this is another point of view. This is from a slave owner. So you can see different perspectives on the same type of incidents. Having a bunch of sources gives you a clearer picture of the event. When we are working with our history lessons, I want you to make sure you have this historical thinking of having a bunch of points of view to understand exactly what happened. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me, and I will see you in class.